Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 9, I believe. 9? Yeah, 9. 9 or 10. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I think it's
double
9.
digits, something like that.
Yeah, either 9 and 10. But just because I don't know if we're counting show 1 as actual show. But anyway, welcome everybody that's here. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's the 4th of July coming up tomorrow. So we understand if you're here, but if you're listening on the podcast, it's good to have you here, and maybe you can listen while you drive or do whatever you're doing festivities wise. But whatever you do, please be safe, and wear your mask if you're going out and being in big publics, because we don't want you getting sick and all that good stuff, especially if you're not vaccinated. But anyway, my name is Technique, or Frank, aka Technique, and I'm here with my co-host Matt. Nighthawk Plays. What's going on, Matt? How you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Had a good week. It's been a monsoon outside for the past 48 hours, and as I look up at my skylights, it's raining. But outside of that's good, man. Happy it's the weekend. We're ready in July now. We're mid-swing into craziness and officially summer, man. But things are going well. How about yourself, brother? How's everything going?
I'm good, man. I mean, you say officially summer, everything's catching on fire, including the ocean. The freaking
It looks like Godzilla.
hot as heck. Air conditioning units don't really matter anymore. It's pretty interesting, man. To have so much rain and yet be so hot, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, for those out west,
don't know.
definitely stay safe. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting seeing the ocean on fire being put out by water from the ocean. I don't know. Maybe that salt water burned different. I don't know.
Why did everyone have to say that 2020 was the worst? Come on.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, if we don't have politics making it bad, we have people killing the earth making it bad. And so it's just, I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of pictures of people killing exotic animals for no reason, and now killing off the ocean, apparently. The earth is 80% water, but my goodness, we don't have to catch everything on fire. And people blowing up fireworks, police have been blowing up fireworks in neighborhoods and injuring people. Like that's, I don't know what to say.
That was actually a crazy story. I know it's not comic book related, but that story was crazy. They thought it was okay after they seized it, and then all hell broke loose with explosions and people. Yeah, it's
there's an open field you can take anyway. Whatever. So how does this relate to comic books? We can use a multiverse of madness right now.
We really could.
If a Doctor Strange gate opened up, I'll be the first one jumping through that bad boy.
Chat, how about you?
Anyway, speaking of which, comic news, gaming news, movie news, show news. Black Widow coming out. Is Black Widow out in theaters now?
So Black Widow comes out digitally and in theaters this Friday on the 9th. This Friday.
All right.
Yes.
I'm spending the $30 to see it.
Yeah, same here.
I'm not going to no theater. I'm just thinking about how people are just unsanitary. I just don't. So yeah, I'll be home spending the $30 watching Black Widow in comfort of my home with the waifu and enjoying that. I'm very excited about that. Actually, the reviews are not bad. So
yeah.
I'm like, I expected people to slaughter it because people just hate Scarlett Johansson for some reason. So, I mean, she did put herself out there a good bit, with saying some stupid stuff. But everyone says stupid stuff. She's
self-included.
Yeah, she's a very good-looking woman, and she does her job well as Black Widow. I would say she's definitely a good Natty. But we'll see. I think the bigger star of the show is her sister in the show, and character-wise. And we may see more of her, and she's being adopted in comic books a lot more now. A little blonde head, sassy fire girl. She's I just saw a comic book cover, had both of them on it, and she's in Marvel Future Past, whatever mobile. There's so many Marvel mobile games, but the one where you get to play
the new one coming
also
out.
They added Falcon, Captain America Falcon.
The new one coming out you're talking about?
No,
an older one.
This is the one that's been out. I think it's called Future Past or something like that. It's actually pretty good when you have a 3-man team, and you go through the streets. You can play it single character and you go through the streets of wherever. You do missions and stuff. You get characters. It's kind of like a gotcha type game for Marvel. It's actually really, really successful, and they make a lot of money for it. But they just introduced anytime there's a show or movie, they do crossover stuff and they bring it in. I mean, Loki obviously hit Fortnite recently as well.
Yes,
there was a big there was a big trailer with that. He's on a bus, and they have the little blow up guys for Fortnite. They're like little mascots or whatever, and he kind of can't find a seat on a bus. And Loki was like, I have a seat right here. And the guy comes and he sits down and he deflates because the old school Loki, like, you know, the thing that had the Tesseract in it, the staff popped his butt and kind of deflated. And he was like, I didn't do it type thing. And smiled at the end. So it was kind of cute how they put that in there. But man, Fortnite be holding those licenses, man.
They
Lord.
like they're the what was the game on Nintendo Wii, I think it was, where it was like Disney properties meets everything else. It's kind of like the new version of that. I forgot what it was called though. I know Chad and probably Casual, because he's a big Nintendo fan, had it. It was like a game where you could play like as any character essentially through Commix TV and everything. It's kind of like that new version of it. And it's crazy because it's a lot of kids playing it, but it's also uber competitive. But it's especially with Black Widow. I mean, I think I'm excited for it for a couple of reasons, like you said, Frank. It has been getting really good reviews. The mixtures of what I've been hearing, it's kind of like the Bourne Identity meets Terminator meets, I can't forget this last one, but just hearing those combinations kind of sound really cool in the Marvel universe. But I'm just happy that we get a Marvel movie, right? It's been since we said this a couple of times before. Spider-Man Far From Home came out in July or sometime in 2019. That was the last Marvel movie. It has been a lifetime ago. It's been literally 2 years if it was July. I can't tell
because the shows are better than the movies, honestly.
Which we'll be talking about episode 4 very soon here. It's I'm just really happy for it. And for those of you who don't know, they did the press screenings for people who didn't want to go. They sent it out digitally to a lot of folks as well. And the non-spoiler embargoes came out, and everyone's been giving it 4 stars, 5 stars. So
everyone's happy with it.
Like
they were
you
like,
said,
it's worth the wait. That's the biggest thing I've seen is just worth the wait, worth the delay.
Yes.
I'm more interested in seeing how the movie stands up to the shows. I'm going to be doing that. The comparison between like how far we have come for digital series.
Yep.
You know, versus movies, because movie production is millions of dollars, but these shows are even more expensive because you have more film to edit, more to cut, more holding licenses names, big time actors. There's more screen time for everybody, which means more money for them. And how is digital hits being interpreted versus people coming into a movie theater and sitting? I mean, $30 a pop, that's good money. You know, a lot of people believe in that digital releases are going away, but if you have an option and it's double, sometimes triple the price if you're by yourself going to the movie theater, if anything, movie theaters would be taking a dip more than digital. You think you're safe in your own home. You don't have to spend money on candy and all that crap. That stuff is theater. The movie people don't give a crap about that. Marvel Studios don't get any of that portion unless they're doing like a licensed crossover with a box of Spider-Man and you put popcorn on it type thing. But at the end of the day, if I'm one single person and I paid $30, that's like 3 people for $10 ticket or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, digital release, it's cool with me because I can lay down in my own home without worrying about traveling or sitting on something or, whatever, sitting in something.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm down with it.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, obviously there's contractual stuff with it. There's not only on the movie studio side, but how they're paying the actors for box office revenue, right? But if you think about it, like I just looked it up really quickly because I haven't been to the movies in over 2 years. Tickets right now for me to buy for like an 8:00 show at night to go see Black Widow for my wife and I, it's $15 each. $30 one-time showing. I know we're gonna want to get Sour Patch Kids. I know we're gonna get a water bottle that is like $8 that makes no sense. Popcorn with butter. I mean, I'm talking about a like $60 to $70 movie night where
that's a night to take your wife out to eat grand food.
Right.
At the end of the day,
where I mean,
my theater sells grand food for like quadruple the price.
Yeah, I mean, not even.
And it's not even that good.
Yeah, and they got like dine-in movie theaters too that you could be watching it, and like it's like TGI Fridays in there. But I could spend $30 and watch it at home, and I essentially have it forever.
Yeah,
that's a no-brainer for me right there.
Get your Sour Patch Kids from the dollar store and get a huge bag of it.
Exactly.
It's just like, why go to the movies? I mean, I love the experience of going to the movies. I mean, granted, you won't get that experience like you did in Endgame when you saw, you know, everybody come together and everybody's just like, ah. I could watch that on YouTube and get the same feeling. If I really wanted to.
I mean, I got that feeling when they put that
right now
trailer
with the world, the state of the world is in, people going around shooting up things and acting crazy and burning shit up and blowing up fireworks. I kind of rather be at home where I ain't got to worry about that stuff, you know. So it's a double-edged sword, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna enjoy Black Widow from the comfort of my home. And that way I can pause, rewind, don't have to worry about nobody crying in the background, yelling, screaming, whatever. To me, the $30 is worth it, especially being a huge fan. So that's what I'm gonna be doing.
You know what I'm actually gonna miss the most about it? It's actually going to be the trailers, the previews. That's what I'm probably going to miss the most about it.
You'll still get them.
I know, but I love just going out. I feel like sometimes the best part of the movies is the trailers, but I mean, what are you gonna see? You're probably gonna, because it's Marvel. You'll probably see Shang-Chi. You'll probably see Eternals. You'll probably see a Disney Plus thing, maybe. And then,
I don't know any other movies coming out but Marvel movies.
That is also very true. That is also very true.
There's literally nothing else. I mean, there's A Quiet Place 2, which was quiet in the movie theater. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather see that at home. I don't know, man. I do miss the movies. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't miss it enough to want to just, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, Black Widow's coming out, and I'm super excited for it. I'm very happy that you know, we get to see more Black Widows. Very upset seeing her just get destroyed, but I honestly feel like she's gonna come back anyway, because there was no news of Scarlett Johansson's contract being over. There's no news about it, so I wonder if we're gonna see her again, or is at the end of that movie maybe she gets whisked away by Doctor Strange. Who knows? I mean, maybe they delayed it not because of production and all that budgeting and stuff that people were saying. Maybe they delayed it due to the fact of they needed to get out some shows that introduced the multiverse before they introduced Black Widow. I don't know. It's fun to think about.
It's an interesting point. Do I think we've seen the last of Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow? I'm 50-50 on that one, but I really do feel like the blonde girl's name, I think her name is Florence Pugh is her actual name.
She's gorgeous. I don't know. She's pretty.
Yeah, I believe her name is Yelena, because she's part of why she's going back and everything. I think she'll take up a future role as a Black Widow-esque character in the current MCU timeline.
She has her own name. I just can't remember what it was. She has her own name because she's actually in a few comic books, and she was introduced in something recently. I can't remember.
Or maybe not Black Widow, but like that character. That type of character in future,
like an agent.
She's a little bit younger, right? So she could be like a young Avengers type person.
I don't think she's gonna go that far with it, because I think there's the show coming out called something Agents, but it's gonna have Hawkeye in it, and I don't know if it's a prequel or a what, but and if I might be breaking NDA, but anyway, it's something dealing with agents. I know it's somewhere out on the internet, so they broke it first. I forgot what it's called. It's something Agents, but it's the story of Black Widow, Nighthawk before they got into the Avengers. So I know that is definitely coming. So I think Scarlett Johansson is a part of that. Can't remember what it is top of my head, but it's something dealing, because they were a part of the elite agent group that she was supposed to infiltrate, but she became a part of it, something like that. I can't get the name top of my head, but I know that's the thing. I don't know if it's gonna be a TV series or if it's going to be a movie, but I'm pretty sure more than a TV series than anything. But we're going to see that relationship blossom between those two, because that was never really told. And hopefully we see Ronan again, because Ronan was a thing before Nighthawk, and then definitely a thing after Nighthawk.
Hawkeye. I'm Nighthawk. Smile.
Or Hawkeye. I say Nighthawk. Good Lord. Hawkeye. Think about reading your name and saying it at the same time. Good Lord. Anyway, too many Hawks.
Get this man some more King's Coast coffee.
Yeah.
Too many Hawks.
But anyway, so that's something that we're supposed to see, because apparently Hawkeye was a very thorough assassin.
His Ronin character.
He took the role Hawkeye. So I'm very, very much interested in seeing that. I think that is a lot more interesting. We also have Hawkeye the series, featuring him and the beautiful Miss Steinfeld herself. I
Haley
said her name
Steinfeld.
right.
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld. She's playing Kate Bishop.
I'm
so
so
she's getting
excited to
another
see
one.
her.
Yeah.
I have such a huge crush on her.
Okay.
So I can't wait. I know she's gonna kill it. She's very good
She's
at
a great
jumping
actress,
into
yeah.
roles. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw Bumblebee, and say what you want about the film, but she was actually really good in it.
I think she did fantastic.
Yep.
That's the one with Mark Wahlberg, right?
No, Bumblebee was the.
No, I remember it was her and Bumblebee. Oh yeah. She had some other dad.
Yeah,
it was some other dad. There's just too many people in this guy's child.
Oh,
but yeah,
so
Bumblebee was. I
speaking-
thought it was good. I didn't think it was bad. It had some cheesy stuff in it, but it was good.
Speaking of which, I know So one of the things that I know we've been very MCU and DCU heavy here on the show, right? Because of everything that's going on, but we don't want to be just about the major two. We've talked about Invincible before. Can't really go back into much Jupiter, right? Because of everything that's going on. Obviously, The Boys season 3 is production has been fully kicked off. Jensen Ackles, Soldier Boy character is out there now, but did you see the trailer, the full season 1 story trailer yesterday for the Kevin Smith revival of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe?
Nope, I'm not watching it.
I know you don't like spoilers, but all I want to say, when this comes out at the end of the month, it comes out July 23rd, chat. We are talking He-Man and Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, I'm not watching it. I'm an old school He-Man lover, so dude, I'm not watching. I want to be like blown away by the moment.
That was like you and me, like Ghostbusters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Thundercats, and He-Man. I was big into He-Man growing up. Like, I couldn't say it. My mom always used to, and she'll still say it today if we ever have her on, or do like an episode with our parents or something like that. I don't know, but my mom was like, I always was running around and going, Eeyore, because I couldn't say He-Man, and I had the Gray Skull sword, so I'm just
why couldn't you say
when
He-Man?
I was young, kids can't pronounce things, so instead of saying He-Man, I was like, Eeyore.
I thought she was like, don't say it.
No. She was all about, son, whatever makes you happy, enjoy.
I just like the tiger when I was young.
Yeah.
I had the toy. Back in the day, guys, toys didn't have posable arms and stuff. We had to do this with our toys. So I had the tiger. He was just like, it was just like this.
Yep.
Crash down. It didn't move at all, but I love that dang thing. You could put accessories on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big Ninja Turtles dude. Like, I'm still to this day. I had every Ninja Turtle toy. Like, I went into my parents' house the other last couple weeks ago or something like that for Father's Day. That's what it was. And my mom found they used to have these gigantic Ninja Turtles. They're super I
remember
now.
Those,
like the original.
Yep.
So we had the original Michelangelo with the nunchucks and all, and he's just sitting up in a cabin, and I was like, Mom, that thing sells for like, I don't know, like $2,500 right now. She's like, what? I was like, okay, don't sell it. So let you know.
Sure, son. Sure.
Yeah, we have the chest. I have this whole sewer, the van, all that stuff. I
got the van too. I remember having the van too.
It was great times. I would love to have another Ninja Turtle movie, but the best Ninja Turtle movie was from the 80s, 90s. Like, those are the best because they were actual people in animatronic suits.
Yep.
Like, it was freaking awesome.
What did you think of the Michael Bay produced Turtles that came out a couple of years ago?
Nope.
I feel like not only that, but they can't get the TV shows right too. The TV shows aren't fun to watch either for some reason.
No, I like the old school cartoons, man. It's because they're trying to be too modernized anime, man. I love anime, but come on, dude. Like, Ninja Turtles is on a whole different wavelength, and they're trying to adapt it to the kids of today, but they don't understand kids of today are wearing bell bottoms and they're saying dope and stuff like that. And trends tend to go full circle, and I don't understand why animators just can't get it. I think it's the wrong people calling the shots. It's kind of like video games, like when the investors get involved, it's just kind of like, ugh.
The two
kids love anime. Yeah. We need to do anime version.
You don't have to go there.
Yeah, they do, but it's okay. It's kind of like if they re-release the old X-Men, aren't they doing that actually?
If I remember correctly, I think you're right. They are re-releasing it on Disney Plus. They haven't done it yet, but they are releasing the full.
But it's not our X-Men. I think it's going to be kind of refurbished type. I don't know, redesigned, kind of more modernized looking. I think I saw a short of it and it looked very anime type setting, like, you know, just it kind of like DC meets a little bit more anime, but I would rather have the old school stuff. I mean, or at least do both, you know, so we can have a comparison or whatever like that. But
yeah, you're right. So they do want to bring back the original cartoon in its entirety. And then I don't know if they're restarting it, if it's going to be a continuation, but then they're going to modernize something of that forward on Disney Plus.
I mean, I don't blame them, honestly.
So as I said, I was also a huge Ghostbusters fan growing up. I mean, those movies, the cartoon, the comic books, they were awesome. The video games were great. I take the Melissa McCarthy Ghostbusters to the side because as much as it is Ghostbusters, I'm definitely the old school one. I think it was a good movie if you take it on its own and call it like a multiverse version of the Ghostbusters. Sticking with the theme today, apparently. But Afterlife, the new one that's supposed to come out later this year, next year, I do have hope for that because of the people that are involved and the little quick teaser trailer they put out a little while ago. I think, and I hope they do it justice because that's another one up there for me as well too.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, I'm all for it as long as they're. I mean, we could be unlucky in them not doing anything with it.
True.
Like I thought Silverhawk was before its time. I thought all those great cartoons were just before that. But then again, that was just a whole different era where you would just sit down and just watch cartoons because they were cartoons. Like you try to bring back, I don't know, Care Bears, the kids are gonna look at you like, what the heck is this?
Did you have the Silverhawk toys growing up?
Which one?
Did you have the Silverhawk toys growing up?
Yes.
Dude, those things were weapons, remember?
Dude,
those things were
that
just
ship
pure
was iron.
It's like, what is happening?
Iron ship. It had the little legs that pop out, the really sharp metals. Yeah, you could do some damage. The tip of that ship that I had, oh my God.
You can't get away with that stuff now, man.
We had some bad. Remember Stretch Armstrong and how dangerous that chemical was inside?
Yeah.
The acid type thing, it'll burn your skin. If you pull too much and it ripped and it was like ooze that came out, dude, we had some bad stuff back in the day. Kids today get to play with foam and stuff. I don't know. They just gave all kind of chemicals and stuff. But anyway, moving on. Before we get into Loki, we're gonna talk about like Marvel has a new mobile game coming out. I mean, if you're a big fan of Omega back in the day, or just Marvel Universe, the game anyway, where it was an ARPG, you got to play like tons of different Marvel characters. It was out for a very, very long time. They finally closed their doors like a few years ago, which I was heartbroken. I mean, honestly, loved that game. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it had a great community and people that just love Marvel in general. The devs were just super in love with their community, very tight knit, but the investors just kind of stopped giving them money, and then there was nothing they could really do about it but close it. And it was a very, very emotional time. I used to have devs that come in the channel and just apologize, and it really broke my heart. But they do have Marvel Revolution coming out, which is kind of similar to that. Actually, it's open world RPG, and it's multiplayer open world RPG. And the biggest thing that they're pushing right now, there's 11 LGBTQ plus superhero characters that will be on there, which is great. Because little do you know, there's a lot with Captain Marvel being one who is, I believe, bisexual in the series. So that's great. And I'm super happy to see that because, you know, even though people were talking mad junk about like 2021 and 2020 being the year of like everybody trying to make a place for themselves and stuff, they deserved a place for themselves. So I'm glad that they're being more represented. That's a huge thing about the game. Granted, I just hope they don't use that as a flagship for the game. You know, like you don't want to say you're supporting, you know, a certain group of people just so you can sell copies of it, because that sucks at the end of the day. You know, it really, really sucks. But there will be 8 playable heroes from the start. It's Captain America, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Black Widow, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Star-Lord, and Storm. Lovely old Storm. I'm so happy she made it in the forefront. Thank you. Being the only person of color in this lineup, which is kind of weird. But anyway, but there are over 400 million, million different costume combinations. 400 million different costume combinations. That's insane. Now, I wonder if they're counting different color combinations as costumes, because you know how they do. They like to say all this stuff, but you have the costume has like, I don't know, 40 to 50 different color reanimations of the same thing, you know? So that's probably there. Basically what they're going to be doing is you get to customize your hero in different styles, which is very important because there's going to be multiples of the same hero. I mean, how many Spider-Mans will you have on the screen at once, so to speak? Mission zones in the game include New York, New Stark City, which is interesting. The Hydra Empire, Sakaar, among other places. In a multiplayer and PvP action too, whether you want to go one-on-one with your in-game rival or a bunch of your friends and form a 10 versus 10 squad. That's really there are more to this game than just single-player adventure. Yeah. As you level up, you'll unlock raids, nice, special operations, blitz content, and more. So Bill Roseman, a good friend of mine, actually, VP of Creative Marvel Games, promises that players can live out their superhero dreams in an unprecedented scale, filled with all action, drama, humor, and fun fans expect from Marvel. Pre-registration is open now. It's free to play mobile game, both on iOS and Android, which means that they're probably gonna have a gacha system in it. You'll be buying, definitely gonna have microtransactions. Don't even blink about that. That's a Marvel thing. It's on mobile phone, and it will sell very well. You get to have your favorite costumes, featuring costumes like Far From Home Spider-Man and the new Tony Stark suit Spider-Man and so on and so forth. All your movie favorites, and expect crossovers to be in there as well. That's news on that.
Yeah, I'm actually going through their website right now, and it looks like a hybrid, like you said. So it's funny when the character playthrough, like it shows like 7 to 8 different unique skins because it has to do with the game, the Marvel multiverse converging and combining. But then it pauses on a character, like right now I'm on Storm. It pauses on her in one skin, and you just change colors. So it's a combination. Yeah. It's a hybrid. It's definitely different versions of the character throughout history,
different colors of
but
that
also
version,
different combinations.
I mean,
but still,
400 million
that's a lot, man.
Outfits. Okay, all right, cool. Give me whatever, you know.
That is definitely a lot for sure.
Expect a PC port. 1000% expect a PC port. I'm pretty sure that. I mean, that's just more money for them.
I feel like more and more of these type of games are doing that, and it's good. You start out with mobile. It looks and plays like a game that can be on console, but what it will do, it's kind of like a Raid Shadow Legends or a Genshin Impact. It starts out one way, and then it gets ported to PC because it's pretty much ready for it. You just got to get the system and the controls down. So I'm gonna definitely try it out, especially since it's gonna be free to play or free to start.
Free to play.
And
free to play, but you know, microtransactions is gonna really push your character.
Got 'em.
I'm pretty sure expect like experience upgrades, costumes, colors, designs, and future heroes down the line.
Yeah.
Especially when they're probably gonna be doing sign-on events and stuff. So when you sign on, you'll probably more than likely get a sign-in bonus or a login reward.
Yeah, the daily 30 days you get a character unlock type deals.
Yeah, something like that. You know, and you're probably gonna gacha your first character. I'm pretty sure you're not gonna get to choose your character. You're probably gonna have the gacha system where you go through a free start your free character, or they'll have it to where you do choose your first character and everybody else has to be unlocked later on down the line. Marvel tends to do really well with mobile games. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not really a big mobile fan. The game I play the most on mobile is Slay the Spire, just because it's so simple and it's something that puts me to sleep eventually. So I'll just play it before bed, probably knock out 3 or 4 boss fights and then go to sleep. So it's just like, you know. Me being the big Marvel fan that I am, you would think that I play every game they have out. I've done it. They tend to have a huge gap in difficulty. So you start off feeling good, and then they get you to a point where you have to spend money because it just gets way too hard to progress. So typically the style of it, and I mean, more power to them. In Genshin Impact, I spent a good bit of money on it because I loved it. I don't play it much anymore because I just kind of lost interest in it because everything else came out. But if they do a PC port and it's just as successful, I mean, Genshin Impact was the biggest selling game like last year, period. So
it was so
biggest moneymaker.
It was like it just went on that roller coaster, like did this huge peak and then poof, it just kind of like, in my opinion, for as far as like the people I watch that play it, that keep up with it and everything. So I hope I don't think it will have that big of a crazy up and down because it's just Marvel and the team behind it, the Net Marbles company, know what they're doing. They've been doing it for quite some time. So I'm hopeful that they'll do a good job with it because I mean, all these trailers and the brief little gameplay that they had from the other night, man, it looks like it's like, why isn't this coming out on console? It's strange.
Yeah, it looks fun. I mean, you know, and it'll do justice for people that miss Marvel Omega and stuff like that as well. So yeah, chat, tell us what you think, man. If you guys, you know, are you here for it? Yay, Marvel games on, you know, mobile platforming, or are you just kind of like, I just use my phone more for, you know, making calls and texting and harassing my loved ones or something? Then you just let us know, you know, because you know, I mean, the tablet version of that game, seeing how powerful tablets are getting, might be really cool. Or do you think that Marvel should invest more in consoles, because consoles have cloud-based gaming now? Maybe that game, if that game's on Amazon Luna, I can play it on my phone, I can play it on my tablet, play it on my whatever that connects to the internet. It's pretty cool. So I think people need to invest more in cloud gaming, because it's coming along. It's coming along.
Yeah, I think with Luna and now what is it, Project X Cloud with Microsoft. I feel like
Google's still around with Stadia.
Stadia may have been Stadia may have been a little bit before its time, even though it's still here. I do really like that idea, and interested to see, what are we in 2020, 2025, you know, 2026, another 5-6 years from now, to see where that goes. I'm very much a tangible person. Like, I want all my consoles to have discs. I love collecting discs and collector's editions. Oh, even though I'm streaming, I need digital. Yeah, even though I'm streaming, I need digital, right? Because I need to be able to play it that morning, because I stream before, you know, majority of stores are open. So, but that's just me personally. But sticking with the gaming, one other quick piece here, because before we get into Loki, yesterday or 2 days ago, NetherRealm put out that interesting tweet of, hey, you know, we're ending our quote unquote service for Mortal Kombat 11. We put out all the characters, we put out all the skins and everything, and now we're working on our new project. And everyone's yelling at the moon that, oh my God, Injustice 3, or is it a potential potential Marvel property that they're working on in the Injustice-esque type realm? For me, I loved Injustice. It was an amazing storyline. We've talked about it before. The game itself was really cool. That actually what led into Mortal Kombat 11's customization and character and a lot of its core gameplay, because of how you could dress up your characters with mother boxes, opening those up and putting on different Batman suits, different Superman suits, et cetera, et cetera. It critically did really well. It was high 80s, low 90s across the board on Metacritic. Sold really well. Injustice 2. So I'm looking forward to an Injustice 3. But if it was Marvel, I think it would be pretty cool. But I don't think it is, because Capcom still only partially owns rights for fighting games.
I hope not. That's just too much licensing to be playing with. Saint Ranger says, typically shy away from mobile games. Oh, okay. Well,
never did it for me.
You know, I don't know. I think you should always try it once to just see where, especially if it's free. You know, just try it once, see where it lands, and see where it goes. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much licensing.
There is a lot of bad mobile games, so you may have just tasted something that necessarily actually really wasn't good.
Yeah, Marvel has too many issues with their life. They have the people own too much crap in Marvel, like this day and that. The characters are too bound all over the place. You would have to pay everybody in the world to get that thing going. I mean, you can't have a Marvel game without Spider-Man in it, so you gotta pay Sony to get that in there, and you know, Fantastic Four, wherever the hell they are, and so on and so forth. So it's just like, it's all over the place. Versus DC is just a Warner Brothers type thing, who's kind of just hoping that people take the dang thing and do something with it.
Who owns NetherRealm, so it's like perfect right there.
Yeah, I think, honestly, if they had the money, I think they should just take over DC gaming completely. They have the team that can really put together some RPGs or some action-based games for sure. I mean, they're incredible animations department and stuff. They are. They definitely do it. Injustice 3, if they do an Injustice 3, they're really gonna have to like break into the competitive scene, honestly, because Street Fighter 5 is godly ugly. I think it's just really bad. But they're successful because it's a competitive game that reached out. I mean, look at Guilty Gear.
Yes.
Strive right now. Very beautiful, amazing game. One of the best fighting games to come out. Period. Having issues because their freaking their hub. You know, their multiplayer matchmaking hub sucks. Yeah. My God, it's horrible. You have people that are sitting at a table and they try to make it like a social experience, but who the heck wants to talk to their rival that's probably gonna whip your butt, and you're probably gonna hate their guts because they just spam dolphins all day. Like, So I don't know. It's just kind of weird how people are doing that. And also the online version of Injustice 2 is just, it was horrible. I mean, this is a bad experience. People would just get Aquaman, stand in the corner and throw tridents at your head every day,
and
like all day. So it's just kind of like
the back and forth. Aquaman was definitely OP. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really just not good for competitiveness. And but the single player experience was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah, I mean, I love the story. I actually just looked it up really quick. So like Evo has Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat 11, Tekken 7, and Guilty Gear Strive. Yeah.
Strive. Yep. So I think they need to enter the competitive scene. Any like fighting games just have to stay alive with that. I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom is like one of the fabled like best games out there, and it doesn't they can't land it anymore because they're just trying to be too 3D with it. Go back to the 2D like beautiful pixel art that it is, and like
Marvel vs. Capcom
for that.
2.
But anyway,
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is my favorite.
Fighting
game. I want to take you for a ride. It's so
I love
good.
It has so many characters.
Yes.
Godlike. So also speaking of that in the gaming world, Sakurai introduced Kazuya from Tekken to
yes, I saw that.
Smash Brothers. Granted, comic related. I mean, I guess you could say Tekken did have a comic book for a little while. Did introduce Kazuya to it, and the last character DLC coming out the end of this year, and a lot of people are skeptical. Like they're kind of suspect right now. They're like, I don't know if this is gonna be the last one. He says it is, but I don't think so. That dude is ready to retire and not touch Smash in his whole entire life ever again.
And I'm out.
He's just ready to get out of it. I mean, I love Smash, and I'm done. I'll tell you that more than anybody else. But at the end of the day, he's been doing it for years, man. It's like 21 years. He's been doing it most of his life, just, or at least the half of his life, I should say now. And it's just, as much as I hate to see it go, I mean, it's now the doors are open. I hope PlayStation takes it by the balls. I mean, they have so many characters now. You got Ratchet and Clank, you got Kratos, you got Final Fantasy 7 characters.
Yeah.
Bring back PlayStation All-Stars and really do your job with it, and really try to bring it to the table. All-Stars, or Marvel and DC, do a collab together and just knock out a big, gigantic 200 character, platform brawler. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, I think now more than ever, Marvel and DC teaming up would be an amazing thing. Or
it'd be like the Marvel versus DC.
Yeah.
Like they can really just play on that, and I'd love it. But anyway, speaking of which, well, we're not going to stall it too much longer, guys, because we're not planning on like staying the whole time, because we know that you got fireworks to pop, or if it's legal in your state, by the way, and food to eat. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Loki. Good God Almighty, Loki. Good God Almighty, Loki, man. Like
the emotions.
Damn, what a show. Yeah, what a show. Man, Owen Wilson, man. I just got to give it up to him, dude. He was incredible, or he is incredible. Yeah. Like I say, he is incredible. And what a cast, right? Man, one thing Marvel got together is their casting. Their casting is great. Even when I doubt certain things, it just, God, man, Sophia just.
You were
eats her role up.
You were not a fan when she flipped her hood up.
At the end of the day, it wasn't her in general. Just not a fan of her look, because I was just like, they could have did better, But now it's explained why she looked. I love how they did, because now, so in episode 4, we're gonna be jumping around a lot. And if you haven't seen it yet, spoiler alert.
Yes, we're talking about episode 4.
If you're on the podcast, listen to this VOD it later if you haven't seen it. But they start off with showing her as a kid. And we get the story of why she's so pissed off at the TVA, and she was taken away from her life that she had no idea. She wasn't even doing anything. Just called her a variant and took her in. It's because, quote unquote, the timekeepers can see the future. They've seen past, present, future, and all this good stuff. So they were like, oh, this was gonna be trouble. We're gonna go ahead and just purge her, or whatever the word is. Prune. That's the word.
Yes,
prune. And at that young age, she was able to escape. She had long black hair, as we've depicted Lady Loki to be. But it's explained why her hair is short and blonde, because she doesn't want to be depicted as a Loki. She wanted to be depicted as her own person. So that very much makes sense. And the more I see Sophia, the more I think she's the cutest thing ever, and that she's definitely fit for the role. She played her ass off in that role. Yes. And she's a mother, a newly mother, and congrats on that. Sophia, to where she had her suit altered so she could breastfeed and pump during the film.
That was
filming,
actually
awesome.
that was really crazy when she posted that the other day. How they actually worked with the costume designer to make sure that when she was downtime in between, she could breastfeed. I mean, I think she got the call that she was going to take on that she got the role when she was 9 months pregnant, like a week or two before she was about to have her child, which is like.
And let me tell you how great she freaking looks. Like, my God.
You wouldn't have guessed she popped out a baby. I know that's, but that's incredible. But as
sorcery.
Yeah, seriously. But that is, that whole scene made me think, like, when we've heard Miss Minutes, when we've heard about the timeline, you've had to veer first off. You, instead of going right, you went left. You dropped a paper instead of holding it. This was our first instance looking and seeing something very nefarious going on at the TVA, where they went back and grabbed her just for being who she was and quote unquote knowing her doing something. That is wild.
It was an assumption, a prediction.
Exactly.
Why they grabbed her, because they figured they were like, oh, she's gonna end up coming for us, so she's gonna end up exposing something.
Yeah.
Because her story is much bigger and much bigger than Loki himself, the male version of Loki. She's essentially the original at the end of the day. If we really want to get down to it in the Marvel universe, she's the original problem that they sought after. But funny enough, I kind of believe that Mel Loki's the one holding the strings, and she was just a catalyst. Like, she was the start of something. They talk about the lake in the ripple, right? So she's like this little pebble or a little rain droplet that hits and it just ripples out. And so they kind of trying to prune her early so that the events just don't even happen. But she said, you know what? F you.
Yeah, I'm not
being
going
so
out.
young, knowing to hide in anomalies.
Yeah.
After trial and error, she became who she is today, and it's kind of interesting how she developed her powers by living in Nexus events. Yeah. So, hello, what's up, buddy? It's so interesting how this happens, and kudos to that young lady who played young Lady Loki. Did such a great job. Even though her role wasn't so big, she had the emotion and the spirit of it, and I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah, when she got the device, flipped it up and started walking back, she gave that look to Ravonna. I was like, oh, she's pissed. She did a very good job. The young lady, the kid who portrayed young Sylvie, young female Loki.
So and after that scene, we go back into we kind of get a recap early on what happened on the planet.
Yeah.
We all speculated that Loki kind of created either an illusion or something was happening. No, they were done for. They were ready to call in. But the most interesting part is, what is love? It was the play theme to the whole thing, and I think Loki finally found love, and his love for himself, she, he, her, it, whatever. That was interesting. Can you love yourself? And it's not a weird thing at all, to be honest with you. They are two individuals that happen to share the same kind of fate, so to speak, you say. So they finally found love in themselves. It was a very, very deep meaning, and we can go into really dissect this, but just for the sakes of people that haven't seen it, watch closely about how they look at each other, how they interact with each other. The care goes from, I don't give a shit about you, I'm the better Loki, till, oh my God, I can't be without you, and if something happens to you, I'll kill the person. Just like that. It's because they finally found someone that can understand themselves being themselves. It was a beautiful moment. TVA steps in and saves them, like I predicted. I was like, at the end of the day, TVA's gonna come in and swoop in and get them, because he told Owen Wilson's character Mobius how to find them. But it happened.
It's interesting of how they found them, because their love, Loki finding love and finding love with himself,
was never supposed to happen.
And it was so strong that it caused a apocalyptic Nexus event on its own. I mean, the people that were inside seeing this happen, that Mobius was seeing, they never saw anything like that. So it was insane. And of course, like you said, like you predicted, TVA pops in, the doors come up behind them, and then then a lot of stuff
they get thrown in
happens.
solitary confinement on each side. They're by themselves. But the biggest thing is like, why did that Nexus event happen the way it did?
Yes.
Because Loki was always meant to be by himself, period. By himself and by herself, just because of who they are. But they were literally changing the outcome of everything, which could possibly change the outcome of death sequences for each one of them as well. And that completely can open up a new universe, a multiverse, because now you have, what if they had a kid? I mean, there's all kinds of weird stuff that can happen to blow up the Nexus event if the timeline was a thing.
Yeah.
Now, they both got put in solitary confinement. Owen Wilson got pissed off with, Mobius got pissed off with Loki. So he threw Loki in a time loop.
Which was cool.
Which was really cute. Yeah, it was really cute. And and you could see the growth, right? You could see the growth of Loki, admitting that he was wrong, and he's just, I just do it for attention because I'm just sick of being alone, or I'm sick of being looked down upon. And you feel for him, and Sylvie's just kind of like, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, but I'm not gonna sit here and let them do it to me. He finally, before he gets thrown into that, Mobius asks him, is there anything you want to say? And he's like, the TBA is lying to you. And it's funny how that happens beforehand, because they had him in confinement. Before Mobius got there, he and Ravonna were talking for a second, and then he went to go check on the door where Sylvie is, and the agent, I forgot her name.
The Night Court lady?
Yeah, the I don't know. Miss Thick Queen. I forgot her name. But anyway,
it's either it's Hunter B15 or Hunter B20. I'm getting too confused, but she's the main female hunter right now.
Yeah. She was touched by, so anybody that
yes, that
Sylvie
was a big
touches.
Point.
B15. Thank you, because C20 was the other one.
Yes.
That their memories get jogged back, and she saw something that not like convinced that it was fake, but the feeling of it being real is kind of what Sylvie says. I can't pull that feeling from you. I can just bring up memories.
Yep.
That's your feelings. And I can't create those. So she was like, you could just see her on the fritz, like asking, Mobius, did she say something? Did they do anything? Did Loki tell you anything? He's like, oh, why? And she's like, I'm just doing my job, and type thing. So she's on the fritz. She was already, what's the word I'm looking for? Defected? Yeah, defected.
She got the mind wipe kind of was fading, and she was trying to. She kind of started getting that feeling again. Yep. But casual. The Nexus event, them falling in love. You could take it a couple of ways. So the episode is actually called the Nexus event, which is allude to three things: them taking kid female Loki from her Nexus event and not causing a Nexus event. The Nexus event of them that is apocalyptic. Now, actually, Frank, that is a great question. Is it the love? Because you're seeing them in laminate 20 or laminate 15, the world laminate 2
2077. Yeah.
Laminate. This planet, no one gets off of it, so their love would cause them not to survive or something.
No, it's a few things. So they're not supposed to fall in love. They're supposed to be alone, because that's the theme. Being alone and falling in love is the whole theme of Loki right now, because they bring up love every episode.
Yes.
Then on top of that, accepting death and accepting who they are and being okay with it is another thing. Loki's always supposed to be the god of mischief and not care for anything, and always finds a way to escape, which our Loki always said, we always find a way to escape. We don't, but that time they just didn't. They were like, you know what? We found each other. We'll go with each other, and whatever happens, happens. And that was just like, oh, hell no. The timeline was just like, what? So, I get chill bumps thinking about it, because God, the writing. Oh, anyway. So once all that happens, B15 goes in and says that she's going to do what she got to do to Sylvie, but ends up taking Sylvie back to 2052, 2055, whatever. Right in front of
the rocks cart with that other apocalyptic event. Yep.
And she's like, I want to see it again. Show me. Are you lying? And Sylvie thought she was just going to, have to fight her or whatever, but showed her, and you could just see the emotions just pulling out. She's like, I had a family. I was happy. This, that, and the other.
With all the rain pouring on her, you can still see her tears
so good
dripping, and that emotion of this was real. I had a life. She says, I was happy. Like, that's just, oh my God.
And then her end statement was, what do we have to do?
Yes.
I loved it.
Yes. What do we have to do?
And just to see Sylvie just sitting there with her feet up and just like drenched wet, and Ravonna coming in knowing that some shit about to go down.
Oh, no.
And then Mobius looking into it, and he went to go celebrate with Ravonna, and Ravonna's just like being so damn suspicious. And now we got to see Ravonna. I was like, okay, this is that bitch. You know, like, this is her. This is who Kree falls in love with. Like, we know why she's a little out there now, and she's just like the most scandalous person you name. Man, the way that she could flip that script, a very great actress, by the way. I just love. It's really hard to portray yourself as like, you know, a heel of an episode, but still be kind of loved at the same time, and you're just kind of doubting, wanting to doubt, but you know she's not good. You know, so it's just like, what's going on? Who's the real evil here? And then you start speculating, like, who's really in control? You know, and so Owen was like, where are you gonna put this trophy? And while she's putting Sylvie's like
doink,
I don't want to say dagger, but it's like a short sword up.
Yep.
You know, he switches out the devices to see, because they record these sessions with them, and which is even more weird. Why record them if the timekeepers can see everything? Anyway. And he finds out that she's lying. C20 wasn't eradicated because she lost her mind. She was eradicated because she knew everything was like, she admitted, she said, I saw it. I knew it was real. I felt it was real. I know I had a life before the TVA.
Did you see the little thing that was on that device too?
What do you mean?
Which, if he didn't know then what was happening with what Loki told him, how it was all fake, there was a date of birth time stamped on there.
Oh, yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Those little things they put, like you've said a million times before, Marvel puts things in here for reasons, and that is another reason. We know I keep on saying Morbius. I'm sorry. Mobius is extremely smart if you haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
Once they got him in, Loki did the banter. I'm kind of upset that you have more guards with her and only 2 with me. Like, when knowing the position that he was in, because he's been hunting Lokis for so long, as soon as Mobius heard everything that you've been told is a lie, he knew something was up.
Yeah.
The whole section of events, the way it was written, like you said, he goes and sees Ravonna. They start talking. He wants to see female Loki. She's saying no, and this is weird because he's always essentially got in his way with her because he is the Loki hunter per se, right? And then
she put ownership over Loki.
Yes.
You got your Loki, I got my Loki.
Yep.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, so what we saw at the beginning of the episode, he probably didn't even know about, right? So because you know that things are classified within the TVA as well.
And if she lost her Loki, how the hell did she get promoted?
Exactly. Yeah, you saw the judge, right?
Owen Wilson's the same, you know.
She wasn't always a judge. They used to be, most likely, like you said, they were probably not lovers, but they were colleagues. Like they were colleagues because she was a hunter at one point too. But what was I saying? Then he comes out. He has that conversation with Hunter B-15. Like, did he say everything? Is everything okay? And she, when he said, did he say to her? And chat, correct me if I'm wrong too. Did he say to her, Mobius, to B-15 at that point? Yeah, he said something about it all being fake. Yes or no? I forgot during their conversation.
You talking about with B-15 before he went in?
When Mobius came out of Ravonna's room, he stops in front saying, hey, how's she's doing in there? Because he can't go in and see her. And B-15's like, yeah, she's in there. We haven't gone in yet. I think she says to Mobius.
Yeah, she walks off and asks him.
And I feel like
he said no. I think he said something like everything's fine or something like that. He just kind of pushed it over because at this time he doesn't know who's on whose side.
Yeah, he knows.
But he asked. I think he asked her, "Is everything okay?" I think that's I think he asked her, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "I'm just doing my job."
Yes, she did say,
Yeah.
I'm just doing
He's
my
like,
job.
why,
But
is everything okay? Like, yeah, he was just trying to like feel her out.
Because I thought I have it in my head that she asked him, and that's what set her off to go inside. Like, I feel like she asked him.
No, I think the setup, she was already defected.
Oh,
she was
no,
like
yeah,
kind of, you know, okay, here's what Marvel does. Marvel always does visual cues.
We're getting deep here.
The visual cue was that B-15 stopped wearing her helmet.
Yes.
Period. Every scene she has her helmet on. Every single scene she's helmet up, stick, chest poke out, you know, just this time her helmet was in her hand, her stick was on her hip, she was shaking, she was like it's a beautiful cinematography. I just God, I love them. Anyway, so once all this happens and Mobius finds this out, he immediately runs to go see Loki. He's like, look, okay, what if you're right?
Yes.
If you're right, I need you to trust me and follow me. And Loki's like, oh, now you want me to? He's like, no, I don't need your games right now. This is some serious shit. We need to do this. They come out. As soon as they come out, Ravonna's there. She noticed that he switched the device. He tries to play it off. I like how he plays
it off. Yep, he tries to play it off.
Yeah, because there was a question that Ravonna says that if there's anywhere you could be right now, any of the timelines, where would you be? And he said, right now, right here with you, right? In the talk that they had. Then he answers that. He's like, we're caught.
Yep.
There's nothing we can do about this. And he's like, you know where I'd be?
Feeling, man.
I'd be wherever I was before the TVA, probably with jet skis. Yeah, you know, jet skis and stuff. It was so heartbreaking. It was just so, man. Owen Wilson, uncredited, man. That dude, the emotion he put into it, without putting a sad like scene. Oh, it just broke my heart, and he got toasted, man. He got pruned, as they so say. But
we got
good news.
Go.
We'll get to the end. We'll get to the end about that. But anyway, long story short, that happens, sets off a whole bunch of events. Loki and Sylvie are taken to the Timekeepers. They had a Star Wars scene, like 100% Kylo Ren. You know, 100%.
Oh my God, it is.
Kylo Ren and what's her name, Rey scene, back to back.
Yep.
In the foggy room with the Sith Lords and stuff. It was 100% that. I don't care what people say. That was completely staken. And they fight it out. And Ravonna's there. And Ravonna shows her little martial arts, but Sylvie whoops her ass. And she's on the ground, and Sylvie just chunks one of those sticks up there to the Timekeepers. So the Timekeepers kind of gave them banter because they were kind of stalling. Like male Loki was stalling like he always does. Going back and forth. But the Timekeepers didn't prune them immediately.
Yes, true.
Because they wanted information. So if they're the Timekeepers, this is the big cue. If they're the Timekeepers, they already know. So why ask?
Yep.
Right? If they have them, and Loki picked up on that. He's like, if we're in a position where we get ready to die anyway, why don't you just go ahead and do it? Why are you asking us questions? Do it. You know, type situation. And then they get in a fight, and she ends up decapitating one of them. And you notice the moment that he gets decapitated, something ain't right. So there's electrical shit popping off. They're robots. At the end of the androids. Too. Robots. They call it androids. Robots.
Did you catch what they said? When they were laughing, the other two, did you catch what they said? They're like, we'll be seeing you soon. They say to Sylvie says, I've had like her big, like, oh, like right before she throws it, she says something. I forget what it is. But once the head comes down and falls off and they know, oh, this is not right. The two ones laughing say, we'll be seeing you soon, or I'll be seeing you soon. Yeah. So whatever the presence is, the real Timekeepers or whoever's really ownership over the TVA, their nefarious being behind it or whatever it is, I feel like we'll have a good idea after next week's episode. I don't think episode 6, the finale, I really feel that next week episode we'll really see who's behind the Wizard of Oz curtain, casual. Yeah.
So the biggest touching scene is seeing Loki like finally about to go in for the kiss, and like just finally say, I never experienced this before, and I love you. We were waiting on the words.
What do you want to say?
In the front of the camera, we're touching the TV screen, ready to hug both Lokis. How come Ravonna wakes up and just stabs in the back with a damn pruning stick and takes him out? And I think everybody in the world's mouth dropped to the ground because we're like, you're not about to take our boy out like that, okay? Like, what the But you could see the anger in Sylvie's eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And we know that connection was real.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And it was no longer no tricks, no mischief, just pure love. Something that she was waiting to experience, something that she was waiting to hear for so long. and something that he was ready to say for so long. Two beings becoming one in both mind, body, and thoughts. It was just a beautiful scene, and it's taken away immediately from us because we're not done yet. And when you think everything, and Sylvie kind of just put Ravonna. Did she kill Ravonna, or Ravonna's still up?
Yeah,
we didn't see that.
Let's not go to the post-credit scene yet, right? So there's definitely a couple of things. Yes, she does not kill her, but she wants to be dead. Sylvie gets it knocked down.
You know what's gonna happen.
She gets the prune
Sylvie
stick.
is gonna show her the reality. She's gonna touch her and put those thoughts in her head, and Ravonna is just gonna lose it. I was waiting for it to happen. I was like, touch her,
but she knows.
Touch her, you know,
touch her. No, but But here's the thing: she knows.
Yeah.
She knows everything that's going on with the TVA. I presume.
I don't think she knows. I think she knows about the robot thingy being, whatever. Maybe the timekeepers are real and that was just their stand-ins, just in case something like this happens. I don't know. Maybe it was a message. We don't know. But at the end of the day, I think she knows about them being in the position that they're in, and she knows that something's not right, and she just does not want to admit it. And she doesn't want to see her world crumble around her. Maybe she seemed very power hungry. She seemed like she enjoyed being in the position that she was in.
True.
And she loved the celebratory, thoughts behind winning. It was just her thing. And she got bested, and she hated being bested. And she was about to get rid of the one person that bested her. And you saw the pain in her eyes when she took Mobius out. She knows something's not right.
Yeah.
She knows it's not, but she still did her job, right? So I believe that's when Sylvie's going to come in, touch her, and show her what's up. And she wants to die going out knowing that her world is her world and it is not what they say it is, and she's going to find out different.
Because if you think about it, right? It was her, Ravonna, and 1, 2, 3. I think it was 4 other guards, 4 other hunters, whether they're elite security agents or whatever it is. When Mobius says, like, when he has his going out piece about I would go and like. Do they know too? I don't think the guards are that important because they really didn't have any emotion towards it. Okay.
They probably think Mobius has kind of lost it, just like C20, and it's just kind of like, this is all Loki's fault, so we're going to prune them. I think they're kind of just in that and thing being completely brainwashed mindless. Okay. I don't think they were that important. But that Ravonna scene. Now, you watch, obviously if you're here, you probably watch the credits, but if you haven't watched the credits, watch the credits. But at the end, we're all just like,
mid-credit scene. Go.
Yeah. We're just like, this is episode 4. What the hell? Like, how are you going to do 2 seasons? We find out that Loki is not dead. We see, I guess you could call it a council of Lokis or the Lokis themselves. Especially young Loki in the mix. Hello?
Crocodile? Alligator Loki, maybe? Thoughts?
I'm like, hello? Yeah, King Loki, maybe? And I don't know. There was a black Loki.
Yeah. And if you watch through the credits, and if you watch through the credits, it's he is actually called a Loki. It's I think it was called Protector Loki or something like that.
Yeah.
So I went through, I wasn't able to find anything in comic book wise, and it looks like he's holding a hammer that is his universe's I can never pronounce the name.
Mjolnir?
Mjolnir. Yeah. So it's like dude, there was so much going on in that post-credit scene. All of a sudden, the mid-credits start, it ends, you see Loki, our Loki, on the ground somewhere. He goes, am I in hell?
Who's not reset, by the way. He knows everything that's happening because he thought he was in hell.
Yeah, he goes,
like, is this hell?
Which he goes, am I in hell? And then you hear, oh my God, what's his name? Is it Richard E. Grant or Ray Fiennes? Whatever the actor's name is, goes, you're not, but you.
Richard.
Yeah. He goes like, you could be soon, or you will be soon, and you look.
If you don't come with us.
Yes, yeah. If you don't come with us, and the us is exactly what you said. It's 3 humans and 1 not so human, so 4 Lokis. The old school classic Loki, which goes back again to before what you said. Like, they go comic book accurate. Yep. It doesn't look campy or corny at all for some reason. It looks good.
It was dope. So dope. Where the hell are they?
Yes.
Is that Asgard? Is that a war happening around them? Like, what the hell's going on?
So
I'm very much confused.
I have an idea for it, but go.
But I mean, at the end of the day, we about to see some freaking Loki wars, baby.
Yes.
Like, I'm so down for this shit. And you know that he is going to be fueled by love and anger.
Yeah.
We're about to get the most powerful Loki of it all. And maybe they're looking to him for counsel. Maybe he is the ultimate Loki at the end of the day, because I mean, he's the main character. So maybe that they're going to teach him and tell him everything. And this Loki's going to freaking snap. I think he's going to snap, and all this stuff is happening. Maybe Loki's like, you know what? She's right. Nexus event times 1,000, you know, and then
let's go.
Doctor Strange might step in and shit might happen. I don't know. I'm just super excited. The world is their oyster cup right now, and I'm here for it. Marvel, just take me on a ride, baby. I'm not doubting them at all. The story was fantastic. Every series they come out with blows my mind. The production level, the casting, the writing, the care that they put into the characters, the fans, you know, we're a big part of it too. We are what pushed the momentum of this stuff. And just knowing, and call me 2021 crazy. I love the power that a woman writer has behind this story.
Yeah.
A story about love, women do it the best. Every big romance, seriously, you got the big romance novels out there. They're all written by women. They are.
Yep.
And they just do it good. They do it best because we don't understand women. We like to act like we do. We just don't. And what understands men better than men? Women.
Yeah.
We came from them, for God's sake. So it's just a beautiful little story, you know, the little circle that we have going on right now, to where if the writer's excited about writing it, means that she had a lot to say with it. And that's big, because a lot of times the writer might write something, and the editorials and the staff, the, you know, executive producers and stuff, they just chop it up and put it to whatever they think movie magic can happen with. But that's the beauty of not this would not be as successful if it was a movie. 1,000%.
No, you can't tell this story in an hour and a half or 2 hours. You know, that was my gripe with you know, with books or comic book arcs, you know, trying to rush something. And I'm so happy that Netflix years ago has led itself to a place where we have these Disney Plus TV shows and other digital platforms to watch longer form storytelling than just the Lord of the Ring-esque type of book telling. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I am so happy for it, because we wouldn't get this type of story in a 2-hour movie. Like, there's no way to do it, or even a sequel. Like, you can't do this. And I am so happy with it. But sticking with it, there's a lot of questions too. So for instance,
definitely ain't dead.
So
he definitely not dead.
Yeah, I think. You ever notice when people get pruned, it's rainbow-esque? It's colors.
It more looks like a piece of paper being burnt.
But the you know? Aura around them of when they're burning is very like, rainbow-esque. You know, when you burn
paper, that red line.
No, absolutely.
And it's like disintegrating. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like.
But if you look at its rainbow, I feel like the pruning device has some type of Asgardian rainbow bridge magic to it, and the people that are being pruned are going to another or this world. Think of it as a Sakaar from Ragnarok, right? Think of it as a Sakaar from Ragnarok, and they're getting transferred there. So do I think Mobius is alive? Yes.
Yeah. What if they're being pushed to Nexus events to be eradicated? What if that's the cause? Like those, because when he said, come with us or you will be, maybe that was a Nexus event that was going to happen. Maybe these people are being pruned and sent to Nexus events to just be erased.
But remember, you saw the world behind them. If you look to the right, as I touched my sign, to the far right, that's Avengers Tower. That's a destroyed Avengers Tower from a timeline.
Yeah, the timeline.
So it's not just pruning. It's when they set those reset devices, whatever's happening in that direct vicinity that they're resetting, or the entire world that they're resetting, is essentially getting dumped there. Now, is it just one linear timeline that's the main?
It's probably like the big yeah. I'm guessing it's a big Nexus event because it's like the ultimate way to erase something. You know, like that's what they kept saying. They can't affect Nexus events because they can't prevent them, because they're meant to happen or whatever. Not even the timekeepers can do it. So yeah, maybe that's a dumb stuff. But I believe Loki is gonna, the first mission of Loki is to save Mobius, and then Mobius is gonna tell him how to get back into the TVA or something. They're gonna like be a great team together. Now I don't know what Mobius becomes later on.
Yeah,
let's see.
Mobius, and the way he went out too, even though you got that nice little speech, right? About the jet ski, the way he got pruned, it was like this, which was kind of weird for me when I saw it. It's like, why did they make it that quick? Especially when you fast forward 5 to 10 minutes later, when Loki gets pruned, and it's like on his, like a shot on him, you're feeling it you're going on his journey of feeling that pain, kind of like Spider-Man being blipped, right? I was like, that was weird. That's not the end of him. And then I saw the end credit scene. I'm like, that's definitely can't be the end of him.
I mean, the biggest plot is for him to go save Mobius for wherever, or get him back wherever he is.
Yeah.
I don't think Mobius is a Loki at all. I think that's been already proven to be false, because all the TVAs are variants, and that's the big twist, is that he's a variant of some sort. That veered off the timeline, and they just took him and made him an agent type thing, and that's all he knew. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think
prior to last week's episode where Sylvie said that to Loki, they're all variants. I think we kind of had that idea that they could be different versions of Loki, but right there, and learning the full idea of what happened to C20 was the they're not. And
I think every Loki knows that they're a Loki.
Yes.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like a big what if. The only one that we kind of like questioned was the young child Loki, that he found in that church or whatever. That's one thing.
I think that's not Loki. I think that was just a regular standby citizen at this point, and even during the conversations, because we see Kid Loki especially being played by a prominent kid actor.
Well, now we see that. But that could have been an early version of a different timeline, because why was he even in the scene, period? The clue was Sylvie was the one that visited that kid
and gave him the kablamo or kaboom or whatever it is.
The candy. Yeah. Because it was a different candy from a different timeline, and Morpheus is in the background in the picture. But I don't think he has anything to do it. Yeah. The kid said a devil, but that's because Sylvie had horns for.
Oh yeah, she had the headpiece horns. Yep.
One horn missing. We don't have that story of why.
Yeah, because when she was grabbed, she didn't have any head device.
So one horn was missing off of her thing anyway. Yeah. So it was kind of maybe it was a design thing, but I mean, in all the designs I've seen of Lady Loki, she had both. I know there's a design of Loki with one horn in general, but. That was with the long one. He had like one missing at one point. I think it's because he got in a fight with Thor or something like that. And I don't know, it was some weird thing. But at the end of the day, it's very interesting. It's a nice place to go. It's one of those things where they're getting a second season immediately, and that's really nice. The first Marvel, I mean, even Captain America: Winter Soldier didn't get a second season announcement immediately. I mean, granted, he got a movie, but still, it's pretty big of Marvel to be like, yeah, we got a winner. Season episode 1 hit. They're like, yeah, season 2, we got this in the bag. This is easy.
Which is interesting too, because you're gonna have to lead into a not a full on explanation, but Kevin Feige even said like this is going to show you or push us to the next full phase of Spider-Man, but it also has to leave us on a cliffhanger for what is the next season. So they're going to have a fine balance there, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to see Cumberbatch show his face very sooner than later, I should say. I think they still have to get through What If. They still have to get through, which is canon, by the way. What If is canon, which is weird, but that's another multiverse event. And then we have to go into the Marvels, right?
Miss Marvel's Hawkeye. Hawkeye. There's 2 more episodes left, and they are back to back. They don't have any time off.
So they're prepping us for the big shebang. I don't really want to know the big bad. I hope there's more than one big bad that's pulling the strings. I kind of hope it's not any Kree stuff. I kind of hope that they're just a pillar to like build us up to know the history behind what's going on and and why Miss Marvel, why she's been gone for so long.
Yep.
Kind of like a recap prequel type thing to whatever happened in Wanda Vision or whatever. But I kind of just rather have Doctor Doom or the Watchers or something freaking enormous. We still have to look for Wiccan or Wiccan? Warlock. We still have to.
Adam Warlock.
Warlock. We don't know what the hell's going on with that. That just like became a thing. And maybe he's gonna be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Maybe he's gonna be on that. I don't know. We still waiting on that. We're still there's a lot of things that's still out there, and we're still trying to figure it out. But yep, 2 episodes left. Episode 6 hits, and then we have season 2. Who knows when season 2 is coming out? But I'm here for it. They're doing a fantastic job. It just I just get so giddy every time. I just know it's Wednesday. And know that Wednesdays is going to be the Marvel days, and Friday is going to be the Marvel movies. So I'm here for it.
What So if you had to put a 50-50 on it, are you more towards do you think it is or do you think it isn't a Loki or Loki's behind the timekeepers?
I don't think there's any Lokis behind the timekeepers. I think Lokis are the other side of it. I think they're the ones that are just sick and tired of being interfered with, and they're ready to fight. And I believe that they are now extremely aware.
Okay, yeah.
And no longer just the gods of mischief. They're more than that now. So I think,
oh God, yeah,
that's the big thing. And I think our Loki is finally getting what he wants, but in a more mature manner. Like, he's not just a sidekick, a side hoe when it comes to Marvel. He's aware. He's experienced love. He has the biggest thing is motivation. Loki's never had a real motivation. He just kind of did shit because it was fun. It was fun to create chaos or whatever. And he wanted that much attention. Now he has the attention. He found his love interest, and he is pissed. And now he has a reason to move on and live, because he gave up. When he saw his mom and he realized what happens later on, he gave up. He was just like, well, if there's one thing I can prevent, at least I can try to prevent that. And then whatever. And Owen Wilson said, or Mobius said, that you were always meant to die, bro. It's just how it is. But then he flipped the script and was like, maybe you can, go visit timekeepers. And he's like, so I can prevent my death. Keep up with that motivation.
Yeah.
Right. It was like the big twitch right there. And Loki was like, huh, okay. And then now I think the mental theme is I'm in control of my own path now. I think that's the thing, because if the TVA is a lie, then the timeline is essentially a lie.
Everything that you've
heard about,
and that's just
a way for the cosmics to control what they ultimately fear the most, and that's mortals or gods or whatever, the peons making their life hard because they are not following the rules of the cosmics that they thought they were the almighty powerful. And we see that in Guardians of the Galaxy too, that when the cosmics think that they're the ultimate power, they have been proven wrong by sheer underlings. So it's really nice. I don't know.
So do you think, last question in regards to the timekeepers, do you think when we figure out who's behind it, do you think it's just going to be the bad for this season and let's maybe say next season? Or do you think it's going to be further than that? It's also going to be.
I think it's going to. This is the foundation to get the dirt moving, because we're definitely building up to a pyramid scheme right now. It's literally pyramid like, here's this bad, here's this bad, here's the ultimate bad, and you thought Thanos was bad. Okay, this is what Thanos was probably trying to prevent, so to speak. It's like, I hope they really push that narrative.
If you think about it, right? I was thinking about this the other day, right? Loki, Ultron, and Thanos, even though they were massive bad guys, what they all tried to do was to try to save humanity, because they saw the overall, just the bad side of what it could cause. They always thought they're their own good guy,
is what they're pushing,
which is now happening with Loki as well too, and the TVA and whoever's behind the timekeepers, because they think that their own demise is going to be themselves, which is a very unique and cool play. And I didn't, for some reason, I never thought of before.
What's more powerful than a god is the real takeaway from here, where gods thought they were the most powerful, but now that they know that there's something pulling the strings beyond them, it's all hell about to break loose type thing. And I think that's what all these Lokis are starting to figure out is like, we thought we were the top of the food chain. We're just another rung on the ladder. And Thanos made a very interesting point before Thor cut his head off. You kill me, there'll be another one to rise up.
Yeah, he did say that.
He meant it. And I'm like, damn you, Marvel. Like, you keep doing this to us. You know how to freak with us. Because at the moment, you're just like, oh, he's just saying that. And he's get his head cut off. Boom, he's real. And like at the end of the day, Thanos is like, this is what he's trying to prevent. The ultimate evil isn't me, it's you. It's humanity. It's people living in one little structure where dog eats dog until the end of the days. Yeah. And to prevent that, we have to reset. And that Thanos's thing was reset. TVA's thing is reset. It's just like all these play on words that are coming back and revisiting us. You gotta be excited, especially if you're a Marvel fan or just a comic fan in general. It's just like, God, it's beautiful to see all these weird things you read in comics all day that you just don't absolutely understand unless you read arcs, right? It's coming together in a very simplistic format, and we're getting all this love, and that's all you see. Like literally movies and TV shows revolve around comic books now. And it's freaking amazing, man.
There's no better time.
It's a good time to be a nerd, dude. And if you're a kid out there in school and people pick on you, they're the ones now. I don't ever want to revisit those days, but great time for kids, right?
Yeah.
Like to be a nerd is to be cool, man. Like now you get to set your own
now
rules.
More than ever, I think if you're a kid, it's not just being a nerd. It's really like if you have an open imagination, a wild, like full going imagination. That's not just, I'm going to be I was a jock, but like be a jock, like it's fully embraced now. And I hope if anything, especially, my wife's a principal, I hope more schools see that and dive into the art side of it and the creative side of things. I know there's taxes and financials and all that stuff, but, I wish growing up, I would love to be growing up now with how everything is socially accepted that when I was growing up, it wasn't. It's crazy. I got a couple more things that I noticed that I really want to get your take on, but I want to say Casual asked a question. We already answered Chains, but once again, there are 2 more episodes this upcoming Wednesday and next Wednesday. That's the season finale of Loki. Then Casual asked, do we think that this Loki that we are currently been following is the same Loki that is eventually going to get killed during the Infinity War?
It definitely is the same Loki. They wouldn't have showed the timeline of that Loki if it wasn't. They would have showed something totally different. It's definitely that Loki, but but what time period does that Loki that gets killed by Thanos know that he was at the TVA or not? It's a far-fetched thing to say yes he did. I believe that our Loki is definitely the same one because they go back in time. The Avengers go back in time to that specific moment, and that's where he came from. But the bigger question is what kind of event is going to come out knowing that this Loki is not going to die by Thanos' hand?
Well, that's the interesting. So Casual just says, what I mean is he dying knowing that all of this happened? Like that's what I was saying. It's the far fetch, it's the far fetch. I think that point in time that Loki didn't know about the TVA because that Loki didn't get whisked away until the Avengers went back in the timeline and he found the Tesseract. The fact that he grabbed the Tesseract and like changed that is the reason why he got picked up by the TVA, because he was always supposed to die. Like that's what they were saying. Yeah,
like, he was supposed to die. And because he was like, why didn't I just die? Why didn't you get me at Ragnarok? He was like, well, you weren't supposed to die then, So, yeah, it's a good question, but yeah, I think the way they showed it kind of answered that question. The real question is how is this all going to play out? Is he going to change like the way it works? And I believe he will. I believe things are going, but if he really didn't have a cosmic event. In the fact that he wasn't a big role player in Infinity War. So that's why I'm thinking that it's okay for him to bend it, because he had nothing to do with it. He didn't really save Thor. At the end of the day, Thor still got blown up on a ship and floated out in space. So it's like, I see where you're coming from, Casual, because the way he did it was really awkward to me. And I said that the way he just ran up to Thanos and tried to stab him, knowing that Thanos has a Infinity Gauntlet on, knowing that 9.9999 times out of 10 he's gonna die, he accepted that. He just was like, you know, and cracked. And the whole thing that was really weird to me is that he said, "This time you won't come back." The hell would you say that, Thanos? This is the first time you killed him. Like, what do you mean? Like, you know,
but,
like
he knew about him because he was part of bringing Thanos to Earth because of one. I am actually still solidified that Loki, I was originally not when we started talking about this season. I am full on that. I think the Loki that we saw when he's got his neck snapped by Thanos, he died there. I do think that he actually died there. I think that this Loki,
it's the same Loki, but from an earlier time.
But they diverged at a Nexus event that he caused. He is going to live on and deal with his own life in the multiverse. I think this is what's going to cause.
Doesn't Loki turn a leaf later on in the comics? I believe he ends up fighting with, quote unquote, the Avengers.
Yeah, like there's Agents of Asgard's Loki. There's so many different versions of Loki, and there are versions of Loki where he is the good guy and he kind of creates his own version of actually Kid Loki, I think, actually fights with the Young Avengers at some point.
Yeah, he does.
So I think when
there is a goodly King Loki too.
Yes.
There's a King Loki that's loved by universes, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, he may go on to become that, because it's kind of interesting how Mobius asks him, you know, what do you want the most?
Yeah.
I think this Loki want love the most. But the fact that he asked that question, these are just needless things that didn't need to be in the show to make it good.
Yeah.
But it's there, and it's there for a reason. Like I said, Marvel never does stuff without a reason behind it. You know, and the fact that this time you won't come back, I think that was a challenge more than a statement that was rang true. Because now that we're dealing with Loki, definitely nothing in the news with Loki's contract being up at all, period.
No, yeah, he's
way too popular right now.
Yeah.
He's a moneymaker for them. He's the new Tony Stark. I mean, new Robert Downey Jr. right now. He's making that much money. So it's like, okay, I think we're going to see a play, and I think the biggest takeaway from all this is going to be the timeline can always be changed. There is no fate, always finds a way. And they're going to do a Madam Web series eventually, and Madam Web she always told Peter Parker, this is where the web ends, but there's so many branches to get to different points of the web. And that was always a theme for Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and that's why Spider-Man has so many just awkward things going on. So I believe when we start understanding the timeline and how it works, because there's timelines, there's multiverses, there's parallel universes, there's all this stuff. There's going to be an ultimate fix to all this. And I think the only person that has a real answer is Doctor Strange. And he's still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because he's just been put in a role unexpectedly. Like, it was something that he wasn't ready for. He was still being trained.
He went back. Doctor Strange sat down and saw 4 million, whatever number of outcomes. And he found the one that led them to this point.
Yeah.
So he went through the multiverse to see these outcomes and the futures from it, which leads me to believe that I don't
know if it was multiverse.
Was it time travel? He just went insane with time travel.
Remember how he did loops in the movie?
Yeah.
And eventually, what was his name?
Dormammu?
The big bad.
Dormammu.
Huh?
Dormammu?
Yeah. Well, no. The big, the cosmic bad.
In Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Dormammu was the big face figure in front of him.
Okay, then him. He kept looping and looping. I think that was the start of his power, like him understanding how to manipulate time loops to find a solution. And the solution was to loop him into badness, and just gave up at the end of the day, you know, whatever. But like, I believe he was revisiting possibilities and changing something here and there to find if there was any sort of way for them to, and he found one, and it offered a sacrifice, obviously. And I believe he found that quite early, and he revisited those other ones to, make up for that loss. He does, So I believe it was more of a, I don't think it was visiting multiverse. I think it was like visiting the timeline over and over and over again, essentially doing what the TVA does, and finding that one loophole to where there's a possibility, but oh shit, it involves the death of one of our players. I don't want that happening. Let's see if we can keep revisiting. And he's just like, there's one. But what the all they had to do was do it. Like, it's still a little weird to me, but I think he knows that certain things just have to happen.
Yeah.
Because he could have just looked at the timeline and said, oh, knock out Star-Lord, his dumb ass. We get the gauntlet, we win. Like, Star-Lord is the reason why they didn't get the gauntlet off of Thanos' hand in the first place.
Yeah. Once again,
his ass out.
They did everything for a reason. Yeah, the Eye of Agamotto, which is the time one, allows the user to see things. Possibly he saw them by dialing time forward and back without entering other multiverses. That makes more sense. Like, obviously at this point it's all just if you ever saw Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's the meme being in front of the board just pointing at everything. That's what I'm kind of feeling coming out of this.
Yeah, I believe there's books that he was forbidden to read as a student that he's going to get his hands on. Well, now he's find out that multiverses. Yeah, he'll find out how to access multiverse, and then, or something happens to where he understands it, and he's like, he puts two and two together, and then figures a way to travel through multiverses and bring people back and forth. Because multiverse traveling does have, if you read the comics, it has a very strenuous negative effect on the body.
A big toll on the person that
you can blip out of existence because you're not supposed to stay in a time or a multiverse that you're not a part of. Like, it's just like something. Because it goes back to Spider-Man. If you guys read the comics, and it showed it in Spider-Verse actually, to where if you're in a time period, a multiverse or a verse that's not yours too long, you begin to dissipate. You can only be there for a certain amount of time, and a lot of those people in the comics have a watch that tracks how long that they can be in a different multiverse before they have to snap back and reset it. Yeah, so I'm very interested in how they're gonna play that in this.
I have one more thing, and then I got one tiny bit of a speculation that I think is cool. So did you notice the line that Morbius said when he brings people in? He goes, yeah, we've hauled in variants of Kree, Titans, and vampires.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool. I mean, that right there shows, like, okay, vampires have been around forever, so when Blade comes into existence, we're good. Why they haven't said anything about mutants yet? Is that going to be another thing they're going to say? Because my question is, how are you supposed to bring mutants in? Like, how is this supposed to happen? Well, we've just been here forever. Well, I guess they've just been here forever with vampires. So that one line just sets up is due to everything.
What's the word?
Irregularity?
Yes, irregularity in a gene pool.
Yeah.
Essentially, we have mutants on Earth now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bad name to give them, but it's a thing.
Storm, yeah.
But so yeah, that I think that scene is more normal than abnormal, I guess you could say.
I just like the line because I want to say maybe there was one other line out there like this in another movie, but this was the first time that they've actually brought up vampires in this universe. We've heard about Kree, we've heard about Titans because that's that's
Thanos.
That's Thanos and his people, which are Eternals. Like, it's vampires. Like, they've actually like really hit home with it with that line, in my opinion.
Praying that the Inheritors come.
Yeah, I mean, that's
those guys are some of the scariest villains in the comic book series, period. Like, they win a good bit versus Spider-Man, and Spider-Man typically beats everybody, but they've killed actual canon Spider-Man, like brutally killed them to where they can't come back. So it's just like, and I'm talking about very, very, very canon Spider-Man, not just some raggedy Spider-Man that they found on the street. I don't want to spoil it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. I mean, essentially, you can argue people with superpowers as mutants anyway.
Yeah.
It depends on how they got it, right? So,
The meta gene in DC. Yep, that's how they kind of call it. My one last thing is, do you know that it's July?
Yeah.
And in 5 months, we're supposed to have Spider-Man No Way Home, and we still don't have a trailer.
Cross your fingers. I don't think it's happening.
End of episode
there's a reason why.
6. I think that's all because of Loki.
Not
I think it's all because of Loki. At the end of episode 6, they're going to drop the trailer.
December TBA. If that date hits December 31st, we know it's 2022. That December 31st is a placeholder for everything. Yeah, that's just a placeholder. I think 2022, maybe January, February, we're gonna get lucky.
No, they have.
I think they're gonna put you back again.
You think but they actually have a date in December.
Filming.
No, they have a date in December. Like they did the whole reveal. No Way Home coming December 17th. True.
And that got pushed back months. So it's like they're done with filming, but maybe they have to change stuff. I'm pretty sure through the editorials and stuff, they have to. Yeah, they have to wait for the series to see where they want to go with it. Maybe they test stuff in the TV series and they're like, okay, we could just change this here. It's probably more than a fly Tom Holland in, shoot, edit, little blah blah blah, and go with it. Or maybe they won't get to the point where they can push out all this stuff before. It all depends on Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. It all depends on that. When that releases and whatever's supposed to release before him. Or before Spider-Man to go along with it, and
Eternals, movie-wise,
Eternals and stuff, and how well that is received. I'm pretty sure they'll do well. I mean, I don't think Marvel's gonna slip at all.
I'm a little worried for Eternals. The more I think about it, I'm really excited for Shang-Chi.
Why?
The more I see it, I'm excited.
None of those characters mean anything to us yet. None of that cast mean anything. If this was something with Chris Evans and all the people that we love and learned to love over the years, that's when you're like, okay, all right, okay, here we go. I'm more worried about What If than anything. I'm more worried about that not being received well and people just don't understand. And it's in animation, and it's just all that stuff is kind of, people might skip over it. People might be like, this is not what I want.
Yeah,
I can just see it being a problem. The fact that this is going to be canon in a different multiverse where everyone is all flip-flopped around, I don't think it's going to be perceived very well, personally, because people they freak out when they see animations, and they just do.
True.
So I don't know. We'll see. I kind of wish it was more of a fun thing that they just did on the side to say, hey, if you want to understand more about multiverse, you can watch this, but it really won't affect what you're watching now live. I kind of wish they would go with that route. That way we have a little bit more protection. But I don't know. They might knock it out of the park. Yeah. I'm watching it.
All of a sudden we're going to see Avengers 5 and just a cartoon version of a character pops.
Oh my God,
Spider-Pig, right? Just pops up. It's like, come on, man. Oh, man.
But anyway. Well, my chat, I don't have much else to say other than hope you watch Loki episode 5 and go in with these thoughts that we have. We really enjoy doing these shows because it's so fun to break apart things and get super excited, and knowing that we have such great things to look forward to. On the DC side of things, we're still waiting to hear from them, and on the indie side, the Image Comics, we're still waiting for Spawn. We haven't seen nothing on it.
Yeah, we
just
heard
know that Todd McFarlane is working on it, but we don't know what the hell's going on with it, or even if it's coming out, or if it's going to be animated or not. We just don't know. We just know that there's a Spawn movie brewing. Blade, same thing. Blade is kind of up in the air right now. What's his name?
Is it Mahershala or Mashallah Ali?
Mashallah Ali, yeah. Is one of the most hot, sought after actors right now, and he's getting so many shows that maybe they're putting it on hold to wait for him because he's that sought after.
Yeah,
I wouldn't, and introducing Blade now is whatever. It doesn't really matter right now. We know it's going to be good, and we haven't seen any vampires pop up yet, so we're not really looking forward to it as much as I think they're doing really good about focusing on shows like Loki and then moving on to the next one. Loki's always going to play in the back of people's heads, which is great. Yeah, he is a great choice for Blade, and we don't know if we're getting young Blade or I mean, more than likely probably young Blade before Blade we saw back in the day in the 90s. I think we're going to be getting the younger version of Blade. And I heard that Wesley Snipes is helping with that movie, so that's great.
That's really cool.
Because he is a fantastic martial artist, and just in choreographer or choreographer, excuse me. On top of that, and just a godlike actor, doesn't get the credit he deserves. Yeah, I think more interesting. A thing that I'm very interested in is the Miss Marvels, like the Marvels movies, and seeing what's gonna happen with that. If we're getting origin stories for, you know, Miss Marvel, or are we going to actually see the original Captain Marvel in a different light? You know, who knows? We'll go with that. But anyway, you got anything else to say, Matt? Or if not, give people where you know what you're doing and how to find you.
You know what's interesting? I've said interesting like 1,000 times. I guess that's my new thing. I got to stop saying that. But the way you're trying to talk about Miss Marvel and then all these other things, I feel like we're gonna have kind of like an Avengers-esque whole movie plot, and then we're gonna have Avengers-esque TV series, because you got to think they've already announced Secret Wars. That's going to be an Avenger-esque type series. Like I feel like even though we have the whole MCU by itself, the way we see multiple phases moving forward, and we want to see that next big Avengers team up, it's going to be on the two fronts. We're going to have the TV side of things, and I think we're also going to have the movie side of things, because you got to make. I mean, both worlds exist though. Oh together. Yeah. Oh no, but even though they both exist together, I think they're going to be separating certain big events like that to tell stories in different fashions.
Well, yeah, like simultaneously happen at the same time, and then probably come together for a big shebang. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, outside of that, man, I just hope whatever people are doing this weekend, they enjoy themselves. They're smart, because it is 4th of July weekend. Whether you're here in the States, if you're celebrating it, if you're abroad or just not here, have a fantastic weekend. We're in the midst of some fun times around the world. As far as stuff here goes, there's definitely the next couple of weeks are going to be wild between this ending. New shows popping up, like we talked about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Revelations, obviously Black Widow. So the next couple of weeks are going to be fun for sure. We got to talk about how or when we're going to talk about Black Widow, because that comes out next Friday. But that'll be on the side. Yeah, we'll give some breathing room for everybody. But outside of that, I got a PlayStation 5, so I plan on diving that. Yeah, I plan on diving into that next week. There's a couple PlayStation 5 games I'm excited to play. Family time, summertime, having a good time, creating content on Twitch that I stream on daily at Nighthawk Plays. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, across the board, wherever you want to find me. Nighthawk Plays. I look forward to kind of getting back to some norm after St. Jude and Operation and everything like that. Getting back into like a full week of normalcy, I would say, per se. How about you, Frank?
Yeah, I mean, just like you were mimicking what you said, pretty much be safe out there, people. So if you're getting together with a bunch of people, please wear your mask, take your mask with you, or whatever you got to do. Obviously, I don't expect you to eat through your mask, but there are booms happening with COVID still. So I mean, my sister-in-law got COVID after a vaccine, so it's apparent. So you gotta be careful. And the only way she found out is because she had to have surgery, and boop, they tested her and she had it. But on the side of that, I mean, this is my handle for Twitter. And then for Twitch, you just take the TV off of it, and it's just Technique. Doing a lot of voice acting work lately, and then like pushing for that. Trying to get myself in a position where I could maybe possibly be in a Marvel thing one day. I mean, even if it's my voice, you know, that's my dream. So I'm gonna push for it, whether it's a video game or, you know, movie, animation, whatever. Currently today we're gonna be playing finished up Scarlet Nexus. If you're into anime or a JRPG, action adventure RPGs, it's great. It's really good. I'm playing on this Xbox Series X because that thing needs some love. And it's great. It working very well on that. I actually really am falling in love with the Xbox system again, and it's kind of weird for me to say because I'm a big PlayStation boy and Nintendo boy at the end of the day. But
do you play Game Pass on PC, or do you actually have Xbox?
I have both.
Okay.
I have Xbox.
Casual,
courtesy thanks to Xbox for sending it. You know, that's the only reason why I have one.
Oh, really, cool! Kudos.
And PlayStation sent me. I owned I bought a PlayStation the day it announced. Somebody got a special way of getting a link on Amazon, and my whole chat bought a PlayStation. Like they all got it. It was amazing. We all got it. And then PlayStation sponsored and gave me a PlayStation. So I gave that PlayStation to a friend that I mean, he paid for it essentially, but who couldn't get his PlayStation on time. So you know, and that was Cold Carnage. I mean, he's a big creator.
I couldn't
see him not be able to do his content. So, you know, I hit him up. He lives like an hour and a half away from me. I'm like, dude, you want this? He was like, oh my God. So it was great. That worked out. But anyway, long story short, we're playing that, and then we're going into Blood Hunt, which is a Vampire Masquerade BR game. It looks really, really fun.
You're playing that today?
Check that out today. Yeah, that's the alpha.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop in your stream. I something about that game looks really cool. I watched a little bit of it yesterday, and I'd love to hear what you say about it and see you play it.
Yeah, I think they're giving codes out still to content creators, so you might want to.
I think tomorrow is the last day though for the pre-alpha, so
it is.
But I'm gonna.
We're gonna check that out.
Next time it comes out, I'm definitely gonna try to get into it.
And then late night, normally I do a community watch party with my subs, but it's 4th of July, so we definitely doing that this weekend. So I'll be probably doing some like old MMO, like Neverwinter or something, and just having fun chats and talking about D&D lore, because I'm a big D&D fan. Coming up on the next couple of shows, we're gonna have some times that we're probably scheduling a no-show, but a podcast. So you're not gonna be missing out on stuff, because I got some pretty big things coming out at the end of the month, where I won't be able to do the show at least for 2 weeks. But we'll still have content for you guys, so don't worry about that. Also, something for you to think about over the weekend is Last of Us TV series is being they started filming.
First day of production the other day. Yep, first day of production the other day. So, they tweeted that and posted it out.
It looks good. Pascal. Yeah, Pascal. Right?
Pedro.
No, not Pascal.
It's his name is Pedro Pascal. Mando. Yeah. Mando. Yeah, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Pedro. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely there. So we know it was like a little mix up of who's actually playing Joel, but it's definitely him, which I think is good. I think he's good. I don't think he looks like him, but I think they'll do good with makeup and all that stuff, and really push the narrative. He's a great actor, so
that's fantastic.
And
then we talked about it.
Yeah, I was right. It was Pascal. Yeah, okay. Pedro Pascal.
We Obermain from Actually, speaking of Game of Thrones,
that was his first time we really started noticing him. He was in a lot of other movies, but we started noticing him as that character, which I felt needed more justice. But anyway,
speaking of Game of Thrones, did you notice? I didn't realize this. I had to look it up. The guy, the Loki to the left in the end credit scene, the Black Loki, Protector Loki. He's also from Game of Thrones. He was one of the guards that protected Obermain and his sister. If you look it up, he was that big hulking dude. It doesn't do him justice in that scene, but this is a big dude that's playing a Loki. So
cool.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's it, chat. We had an awesome episode. It was great talking to you. Don't forget, next week we will be live, same channel, same place. We will be talking episode 5, so make sure to check that out. During the week, if you have any questions, you know Frank's Twitter, you know my Twitter, you know where we stream,
or Rare Drop Twitter,
or Rare Drop, anything that pops up, come talk to us. You know, we'll be more than happy to dive into whatever it is. But until next week, then, Frank, have yourself a fantastic 4th of July weekend, and to all of you out there, eat some good meat, I guess.
Yeah, if you eat meat. If you don't eat meat, eat some plant-based meat. I don't know what they call it. Anyway, guys, we'll see you next time. See you on the mix next time, guys. Take it easy and peace out. Bye.